Let's pay homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming. Homage to Master Sakya Zengkong. And homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa. And homage to Master Tupten Torchi. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of Homa today, Mahajundi Buddha. 师母，ท่านจึงแก่โจทุตันสิทธิ all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma lecturers, Dharma assistants, directors of temples and chapters, and all disciples present here and over the internet. Good afternoon, how do you do?
I still Hola amigo que quiero mucho. Scoring. Kijiwa. Jiwaji. Jumi. Yabi. Bring. Konnichiwa.我们这个八大本尊当中，就是准提佛是其中的这个一尊。
Of Jundi Buddha Mother is one of the 8 primary deities. And Jundi Buddha Mother may not be very clear about Jundi Buddha Mother. Actually, this deity has 3 Vajra names. The most supreme or victorious Vajra. The second one is pure Vajra, or Vajra of purity. And the third name is the wish-fulfilling Vajra. So she has 3 Vajra names. And she has 2 attendants, and they are both dragon kings. One is Lanto, the other one is Balanto, dragon kings. So Mahajundi Buddha Mother was originated from Mahavairukana Buddha, or the great son Tathagata. So she's also a transformation body of Sakyamuni Buddha. And she has 18 arms. And the 2 a pair of hands at the center forms the chief or the general mudra. And this chief mudra is the general or the representative of all the mudras, of all deities. So before performing mudra transformations, we need to form the Jundi Buddha Mother mudra first. Therefore, Jundi Buddha Mother is extremely great. So Vairukana Buddha, Sakyamuni Buddha, and the 8 great Bodhisattvas as her retinue, which means Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, Manjusri Bodhisattva, Samantabhadra Bodhisattva, Maitreya Bodhisattva, Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva, Akasagarbha Bodhisattva, Vajrapani Bodhisattva, Viskambi Bodhisattva. So these 8 great Bodhisattvas are the retinue, belonging to the retinue of Jundi, Mahajundi Buddha Mother. So her origin was incredible, tremendous. So please don't look down or undermine Chundi Buddha Mother. And she's both Yidam and protector. The only one who's both Yidam and protector. So of all of our 8 primary deities, she's the only one that can be both Yidam and protector. So by performing her practice is the same as you were doing both Yidam and protector's practices. So the 18 arms represent the 18 uncommon Dharma practices. She has so many different Dharma practices. And the person who transmitted this Dharma practice was Master Pufang. And the one that we often chant, Vajra Pani, for the protection is Om Puranjali, was also transmitted by Master Pufang. So this deity in Tantrayana, one is Chinese Buddhism, Chinese Tantrayana. The Subhakarasimha, Amoga, and they are the pioneers or the origin of a Chinese Tantrayana. And then the Mount Thai Tantrayana and the Eastern Tantrayana, referring to Japanese Tantrayana, which is Kobodaishi or Kukai. So after Kobodaishi returned to Japan and transmitted the Tantric Buddhism, that's called the Japanese Tantrayana. And the most important Yidam there is Chundi Buddha Mother. So the Chinese Tantrayana, Thai, Mount Thai Tantrayana, and Japanese Tantrayanas, of these 3, the most important Yidam is Chundi Buddha Mother. That's why she's one of our 8 primary deities. But I found that my disciples do not know her quite well. If you gain spiritual union with this deity, there would be no question about you attaining Buddhahood. She has tremendous power. That's why she's referred as the most supreme Vajra. That's what I like to tell you about Chundi Buddha Mother. Today we have 2 special beings who were Bardo delivered. Perhaps you have heard of this person. A very famous actor, Wang Yu.
这王仪，这个大准提佛母放光接引他。
So Mahachundi Buddha Mother radiated light and Bardo delivered her, or him, sorry. And one more, called Lin Cui.
林翠、王怡，他们一起来。
So Lin Cui and Wang Yi came together and received the Bardo deliverance from Mahachundi Buddha Mother.
很比较稀有。
These are quite uncommon. They're both actors and
现
actresses.
在通知大家，下个礼拜天
So I would like to announce for next Sunday,
3点
April 17th at 3 p.m.
这一尊大家都很喜欢，
which is the favorite of everybody, Gurukule Buddha Mother.
咕噜咕噜，咕噜咕噜伯母呢，他的心咒是 Om 咕噜咕噜
The mantra
手哈。那么在东密这个 tree 两个字就用 tree
Gurukule
两个
Tri Soha.
那么
In
在藏密
Japanese Sandrayana, it's 3.
两个
And
字
in Tibetan Sandrayana, it's Shit.
手哈。
So that would be Om Gurukule Shit Soha.
藏密的 Om 咕噜咕噜 tree 手哈是属于东密的。
So Om Gurukule Tri Soha belongs to Japanese Sandrayana, and Om Gurukule Shit Soha belongs to Tibetan Sandrayana. Actually, 3 and Shit
咕噜咕噜伯母
are the same.
是敬爱尊，我们有两个敬爱尊。
So
冥王
Gurukule Buddha Mother is a love god
也
or
是师尊
magnetizing
本身
deity
非常尊崇的
together with
每一次要念
Nagaraja.
到的
And Gurukule is a deity that Grandmaster highly revere. Every time I would chant on her name.
我们的敬爱如果小的方面，大家以为这个
Small
我已经结
magnetization like love and respect.
这个求姻缘，
Perhaps you think like, oh, it's just asking for a partner or marriage. But I'm already married, so I don't need to pray to
需要
Gurukule.
那错了，
That's wrong.
因为要得到众人的敬爱，
Because to receive
在
respect
职场里
and
面，
love by people around you, you need Gurukule.
你的上司
And at your workplace, you also need Gurukule.
很看重你，
Like your boss, whether they
升职，给你加
value you or
都
not.
是咕噜咕噜。
So promotion and raises that all depend on
人缘
Gurukule.
非常好，也是咕
So
噜咕噜。
to be popular
在学校，
in your work, at school,
在人
that
任
also
何一个
depends
场
on
合，
Gurukule, or at any
在团
place,
体，
any situation,
人际之
any
间交往，
groups, interpersonal relations, all
不然
depends on
你没
Gurukule.
有咕噜咕噜，
Otherwise, without
你就会变
Gurukule,
成孤鸟单飞。
you would be a loner, a solitary bird flying all by yourself.
所有人都把你忘掉，
Everybody will forget about
所
you,
有人都讨厌你，
or everybody would despise you
你
or
连上
dislike
司
you,
都不喜欢你。
and your supervisors or bosses wouldn't like
不
you,
管你在哪一个
no matter where you are.
咕噜咕噜是最重要的一种。
So Gurukule is the most
你
important
要活
deity.
在这世界上，
To live in this world,
人事人际关系是最重要的。 你
interpersonal
要处理好
relations
人事的
are
关
most
系跟人
important.
际之间的关系，
You need to handle
全
them
部都
right,
是由咕噜咕噜
and
可以增长你的
all enhanced by Gurukule Buddha
不然就
Mother
是变成
to
孤鸟。
increase your popularity. Otherwise, you'd become a solitary
台湾话好久没讲，
bird. In Taiwanese, Simbua.
到最后你会走入自闭，走进自闭里面，
that you would become
你就变成自闭
antisocial,
了。你人际关系你搞不好，
that you can't get along with
人事你也
anybody,
搞不好，
and you can't
人
handle
也没有，
any interpersonal issues,
就
and
变成
you have no
自闭了。
no rapport with
所
anybody,
以这个咕噜咕噜
then you
非常
became
重要。
very introverted and
不
antisocial.
管你做任何
That's why Gurukule Buddha Mother is very important. Doesn't matter what you
你没
do,
有咕噜咕噜跟你帮忙，
whether it's
生意不会好
in
的。
politics, business, science,
你一个开
engineering,
店
anything, trade.
生意要好，
So if you do business or you open a shop,
谁都会到你家来买。
if you have Gurukule, then you would have good
这一尊
business.
咕噜咕噜
Everybody will come and buy at your shop.
啊，
So this Gurukule is very important. It's not just for
所有
marriages,
一切的人事，
for all
将
interpersonal
来到了佛
relations.
国净土，
In the future, if you get to the Buddha land and Pure land,
去佛国净土，
you go
不
together
能
with
说我要去佛
everybody.
国净土，那你
You can't say
坐一条
that
船，
you want to go all by
别人
yourself,
大家一群人坐一条船，你就是坐一
just
条
you
船
on a boat,
就一个
and
人
yet
去。
other people are together in a big boat and you're
你
in a
到
tiny
佛国
boat.
净土，你如果没有咕噜咕噜，没有群众的关系，
So if you go to
你到
Buddha
了佛国
land
净土，
without Gurukule, without relations
你
with
也
the
没有
group,
伴了，人家大
that
家都
you
欢喜
would
在一起
be without company there.
调歌，
Otherwise, everybody is happy
在
together.
一起，没有说当我一个人在一起，哪有在一起，就是你一个人嘛。你讲到西方极乐
You
世
sing
界，
that when we are
你还搞
together,
孤僻，
not when I am by
搞
myself.
什么？西方
So
极乐
you've
世
got
界
to
不会有
the
孤僻的人，
Western paradise, and yet you're so strange and weird
这样懂不懂？
by
这一
yourself.
尊很重要啊，你不足奇，
So therefore, this deity is very
你
important.
如果不足奇啊，你就变成孤僻。
You don't want to become primary supplicants. If you do, if you don't become primary supplicants, then you would become like such an awkward, lonely loner.
这个讲个笑话吧。
Let me share a joke.
这个校长呢，在这个朝会上宣布，请全校第一名上台颁奖。
The school principal announced. So the
这
first
个校长哦，叫了这个人，
the first student, the student, oh, what is that called? The first rank, the
校长
student,
问他，
and called him 5 times before he took his time to come up to the stage. And the principal asked him, "So, are you not well, or you didn't hear, or
他的同学没有记住
why did you take so long?" And he said, "Oh no, I just want everybody to hear my name and remember it." So he loves
有什么了
fame.
不起？
So being number one, what's so big deal about it?
我们那时候啊，我读大学的时候，
When I was in college, I had over 40.
现在同学少了，差不多快10个哦。
Now about 10 of them
30几个，
have left.
你走了，
So we only have over 30
10个，
schoolmates
还能
now.
够活着坐在这里，已经很不错。
So it's not bad that I'm still here, sitting here.
我们大学同学里面，我们这个有2个科系在一起，
Of our
我
schoolmates,
是读大地系，
there are 2 fields.
然后还有一个
Mine is the
大地系，一个是大地系，我是属
大地系 what geography
另外还有一个
major
地形系，地形系
and the other one is
那个系是一般 大家都是在一起。
what's it called? Geology, I think geography and geology. So the first in our class,
姓朱叫朱金
the
水
family name is Zhu and Mr. Zhu Jinsui.
朱金水是谁呢？
And who
是
is
我经
that?
常在台湾雷上市讲的
And he's the one,
University same classmate 朱金水。
which is I often call on the VIP list. My university schoolmate, Mr. Zhu Jinsui, and his wife.
跟他的太太两个人。朱金水 ，My University same classmate 朱金水先生跟陈哲霞女士。朱金水先生
So
就是
Mr. Zhu
我们班
Jinsui
上的第一
and
名，
Mrs. Zhu. So this Mr.
成绩
Zhu
非常的
was first in class
大
in
家
our
知道
class.
师尊啊，
So his grade
在
was
初中的时候留级2次。
But we all know that Grandmaster stayed in class twice in junior high school, and that's the most glory.
2次的
It's my glory, the most glorious
第
thing
一
to
名
me.
的，现在是皈依。
So the one who stayed in class twice became a guru, and then the one that was first in class took refuge
大家不要小看留级生，
Therefore, don't
留
also
级生啊，可以当
underestimate
校长，就是
those who are
宗教的
staying in class, and they become
留级生啊，
the head of a religious sect, and he could also
留级生
become
啊
an
也可
emperor
以当总统。
or become a president.
我们以前那个小学毕业第1名的，很有名的，他父亲是那个高雄
So the first in class in elementary school was very famous. His
他的儿子
his dad was the
董
head of a hospital in Kaohsiung. So the son, his son was Chen Tongren. He's also first in class.
其实第1名的下场都不是很好。真的
Actually, those who were first in
不
class
是怎么样，
do not end up so well.
反而留级生，你知道吗？
And on the other hand,
你看吧，
people who stayed in class twice,
骗人的，
see the liars,
这个 流
cheaters,
氓的，
bullies,
读书最后
staying in class or last in class, they all can become a president.
所以人不能小看自己呀、
So please don't look down on
每个人都要
yourself.
振作，
You need to
将来
prep
每一个人
yourself
达
up
成就，不能小视自己。
that in the future everyone will have great achievements. Please don't underestimate yourself.
川普
And remember, the
差不多
U.S. ex-president
都有
Trump
刚刚我讲过，
was endowed with all those things in the list that I just mentioned.
人家就是总统哎，对不对？
And he was the president, right?
我不是在笑他。
I'm not looking down on him,
好，
okay?
我们现在进入你问我答。
Now we will do the
新加
question and
坡
answer.
莲花紫云，
Question from Singapore. 莲花
新加坡
紫云。
莲花紫云一心顶礼根本上师，
Wholeheartedly homage to the lineage of Guru.
弟子
Guru
如
Buddha,
下
how are you?
请师尊施
I have the following
非常感
questions.
恩。
please
如何供
help
养
resolve
下水道
How do we offer
下水道的众生？
those beings in the sewage system or groundwater artery or beings in the three lower realms?
供佛
Say when we do our business on the
供养时
toilets
应该如何说？要
or
念
water
咒
used to wash veggies and fruits left over cold teas from offering
这
to the
个第一
Buddhas.
次听到供
What should we
养下
say
水
and what
道
mantra to chant? This is the first time I heard about offering to the sewage system
或下三道的众生，
or beings in the three lower realms.
上厕所的时候的大小香，
Or when you do your business on the toilets,
然后供
the
佛
poop and the
后的
pee,
冷茶，
water used to
供养
wash
时应该如
veggies
何
and
说？要念
fruits
咒吗？
and cold teas from offering to the Buddhas.
你看
Do we need to chant mantra when you offer
我
them?
文集的79册
Why don't you read my
这个咒印
the
大教
article in my book number 79, The Great Results of Mantra and
有很
Mudra?
多的咒语，
There are
你
many
如果很
mantras
仔细
there.
的话，你就可以念这个咒，
If you like to be meticulous, you can chant
要
them.
念3遍，
When you get on the toilet, you need to chant 3 times.
刷
Om Hang Lutoya Soha.
Om 恒如多呀，刷，这是上厕所。
That's the mantra for going to the
清理
toilet.
咒
For cleansing,
喝酒，弥利地刷，
Om Hachu Militi
踢
Soha.
掉污秽的，
And to get rid of
都
filth,
踢掉污秽。
like when you're washing veggies,
施力，伊波利刷。
Om Sri
洗手
Ipoli
的时候
Soha.
的咒语，
When you wash your hands, the mantra,
朱卡拉呀刷，
Om Tukyalaya Soha.
它是有咒语的。
So there are mantras.
天天念这个咒，
But if you chant this mantra all day
这个另
or
外还
every
有
day,
一个说法，好像下水道的咒，
there's another way of
小
saying
象、大象，
sewage, the groundwater,
广东话的
the poop and the pee.
尿呢？鸟，
In
尿是
Cantonese,
鸟，广东话吧，
pee.
尿，尿，饮尿。
Drink
華
pee.
西飲尿，華西是大便，
The monk eats the poo. The monk drinks pee.
華西飲尿，尿，哦，真的是，我說廣東話就是國語跟台語的中間，
Cantonese is like between Mandarin and Taiwanese.
他是這樣子講，
So
有這樣子講的，有觀想是這樣子的，好
So
像
there's a visualization, like when you're on the toilet,
大香跟小香，
for both
然後
the
觀想那個地裂開。
feces and urine. Then you visualize the earth splits.
那个地啊，把它裂开。
So when you're on the toilet,
跟你
you visualize the earth cracks open,
地里
and
面
then your poop and pee would get
就是有
into the
恶
ground,
鬼，
and inside it there are the 3 lower realms, which are beings from the hungry ghost, animal, and hell.
跟尿啊供养给他，
And then you offer your poop and pee to them.
你再把它
And after you finish your visualization, then you visualize the earth to return to
然
normal.
后再念
So there is such a visualization, and then you recite
登厕所的咒语， 登厕所的咒。
The mantra for doing business on the
还有
toilet.
你洗菜的、洗水果
Or
的
when
水，
you
你
the
每次
water for washing
你
veggies and
可以念
fruits,
这个
you can chant
气会咒
the mantra
以
for
波利
eliminating filth. Om Sali Bodhi Soha.
供养，
So that's a kind of offering.
是污秽的，
Because lots of veggies are dirty, you need to wash them.
我发
to
觉
clean
这
them.
个在我们西方哈，在美国这个西方，
I find that in the West, in
比较
America,
不懂得洗菜，
they
他
don't
们吃
know
那个生菜
that
沙
they should wash the
听
veggies.
说是这样子的，
What I heard
是这个叫做
about salad,
people
I don't know. This is like people say. People say.
他们采下来，
After they pick them,
随便冲一下，
they just rinse it
做成
lightly
啊
and they don't wash
现
them
在
very
青菜
clean.
都是有农药的，
And then they eat them as salad.
所以美国人得
And yet
非常多，
there are many
尤其是葡萄，
many
尤其
insecticides
是葡萄。
and sprays on the veggies. So that's why they get a lot of cancer,
我说不撒农药
especially
可以吗
grapes. We visited the grape
把鸟吃
yard,
掉了，
the
葡
vineyard,
萄吃掉了，
and then they
你撒了
spray
农药，鸟就不
the
会来吃。
insecticides really. And
撒了
then
农
is
药
it
以后
okay
呢
not
葡萄上面
to
有白白的，
not to
就是农
spray?
药。
But they said no way because all the birds and would eat them.
也不可以洗，
But
因为葡萄不能洗，才能够制成
so they sprays that they are
所有
covered
的
with
葡萄
white
酒，你看所有的酒，
dust or white
你不管
stuff,
是那个
and then you
烈酒
cannot wash the grapes at all. So when they want to make wines or
一般的
liquor,
wine 也是一般的酒，
so either wine or liquor,
那个
they cannot wash the
全部都
grapes
是葡萄做
first.
的，白
They're
酒、
all
红
made
酒
of
全部都是葡
grapes,
萄做的
whether they're red wine
采
or
下来
white
以后
wine
以后都没有洗，因为不能洗，
or
一洗
brandy.
就不能做葡萄酒了。
So you cannot wash the grapes first.
那个采集
You
起
will
来
not
集合起
succeed
来
in making the wine. Then you put them all into the machinery. So by drinking wine and liquor, it's the same as you're drinking the insecticide.
还有青菜，他们也不洗，就是冲一下水，就变成沙，
The pesticides,
那
you
你
know.
就吃，觉得很好吃。
It's the same with the salad, the raw veggies.
的人还是很多。
You just eat them. So that's why there are many people that get cancer in the West. So pay attention to this. Most Chinese wash their veggies more.
那我们为了免触犯佛像圣灵，上厕所、沐浴、
So
身、洗手，
in order
尽量
not
去
to
维持这种
violate the respect to the Buddha images,
不会
we can chant these
有污秽
mantras
的罪，它是这样子讲。
when you go to the toilet, bathing, washing the hands,
他第二个问题，不空间所观音及力度都是观世音菩萨的变化身。
That's the first answer. The second question, Amoghapasa and Grintara are both manifestations of Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva. Then why on their crowns they hold the images of Amoghasiddhi Buddha and not Amitabha Buddha?
不空间所观音
Because of the
它的
name
顶上是
Amoghapasa. That's why on her crown there's an image of Amoghasiddhi Buddha.
是观
As
世
for
音菩萨的变化
Grintara,
身。
who was a manifestation of Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva,
利顿
whose origin was where?
利顿多罗菩萨，他的本地是哪里？
Grintara or Tara Bodhisattva's origin. Anyone knows where?
没有人知道。
Nobody knows.
立顿在台湾传了好多次哎。
I have transmitted Grintara many times.
in
Kaohsiung, every time we always do Grintara.
查一查立顿的本尊，本地。
Please check
立顿的本地，
the original
他们就是观世音菩萨，
ground
也
of
是等于是观世音菩萨
Grintara.
坚守观音，就是立顿是观世音菩萨的眼泪所画出来的多罗菩萨。
So Grintara was a manifestation of the tear of Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva.
哦，这个立顿也是不空成就佛吗？
Is it true that Grintara holds an image of Avalokitesvara Buddha?
顶上是阿弥陀佛不空坚守。
But Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva's crown holds an image of Amitabha Buddha.
五方佛它不一定它不一定
So it's not
尊的
fixed
本地是哪里？像
which
莲花
one
的本地
of the five Dhyani Buddhas. Like the origin of Padma is Amitabha Buddha. Padma was emanated by Amitabha Buddha.
多的那个这个法身童子，
There are many
人讲起来
emanated youth from Amitabha Buddha.
观世音
Strictly speaking, Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva, Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, and Mahastama Prapta Bodhisattva all originated from Amitabha Buddha.
是阿弥陀佛，没有什么关系的。
It's
五
okay.
方佛
There are five Dhyani Buddhas.
毗卢遮那佛、
Vairocana Buddha,
阿楚佛、
Akshobha Buddha,
这个阿弥陀佛、
Amitabha Buddha,
这个不空成就佛、
Amoghasiddhi Buddha, Ratnasambhava Buddha. Those are the five Dhyani Buddhas, originated from the same source.
就是本初佛、
Primordial Buddha,
所以密教里面就本初佛、
who
阿达玛、
manifested as the five Dhyani Buddhas. So in Tantrayana, the Adharma Buddha manifested as the five Dhyani Buddhas. They all came from the same source,
那
which is the primordial Buddha or Adharma Buddha or Samantabhadra
接受
Tathagata.
到本源，
And then from the five Dhyani Buddhas,
其实都是一样。
they all emanated more. But actually it's all the same source.
阿弥陀佛画出来立顿，也可以这样子讲。
Grintara was emanated by Amitabha Buddha.
佛画出来的嘛，那追上去还不是阿弥陀佛吗？对不对？
Because Grintara
所以不要紧啊。
was emanated from Avalokitesvara,
成就佛，
which was from Amitabha Buddha. So it's all the same.
佛各
It's okay.
要分的话哦，阿弥陀佛
If you want to
这个妙观
divide them, Amitabha Buddha represents the wisdom of marvelous observation, and then the wisdom of all accomplishment.
另外，
That's for Amoghasiddhi Buddha.
中央毗卢遮
These five Dhyani Buddhas represent five wisdoms.
法界体性智，
The Vairocana Buddha,
法界体性智
and then the wisdom of the
就等于
intrinsic nature of the Dharma realms.
五个智慧。
So each of the Buddha is in charge of the different wisdoms, but actually they're all the same.
方便而已。
It is for the convenience of spiritual cultivation, but actually the origins are all the
莲
same.
花指引的问题。
That's my answer.
每一坛修法到了供养这个环节的时候，都会
Question 3. Every time we practice during the great offering, we always chant, we offer above to the lineage Guru and all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, in the middle to all Herukas, Dhammapas, Dakinis, and divinities.
如大威德金刚大
But
法
aren't Herukas manifestations of the Buddhas, like Yamantaka, Mahotara?
的供
How
养，
come they are bunched together with those in the heavenly
他
realm?
说排列的问题， 这是属于排
It's
列
about ranking here.
比较好分呐，对不对？
It's
不然
for
你都讲这个会
classification.
可以呀、你念讲啊，供养
Actually, offering
这个供养根本上师，供
to
养
the
诸
lineage
佛
of
菩萨，
Guru, all
供养
Buddhas,
金刚护法，
Bodhisattvas,
龙天众
Herukas,
行诸天众，
Dhammapalas,
供
Dakinis,
养六道众
divinities,
生也可以
and
呀、
then to sentient
对不
beings.
对？
That's
就
okay
全部都
too.
供养了嘛。
So you offer to
主要
them
把它
all
说出来，就
anyway.
是说金刚护法为什么呢？
It's
护法
how
排在第
you
二位，
phrase them.
跟所有这个我
That
们经
the
常讲
protectors are on the second rank.
啊，
We often say
上
Yidam,
师本尊
Guru, Yidam, and
就排
Protector.
第三位嘛。
So the
金
third
刚
rank.
就是当成护法众嘛，
So Herukas are considered protectors.
排名呐。
So it's
不
like
分先后，经常为
so
了
that's why
打架
ranking
知道吗？
it's no
对不对？
there's no
忘了谁的名，
no ranking, okay? It's like, first or later, people sometimes fight over it.
不分先后，
So important to them. That's why we say
谁到先
it
谁
doesn't matter.
谁。
First come, first serve. It's not
不
who's
然你说我比你大，
I'm bigger than you.
大家都在比大小，
Everybody's comparing
会
themselves.
比大小呢？
But for Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they never compare.
菩萨
That's just the way we say it. From Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Pratika Buddhas,
是
Sravikas,
圣，
and divided into 4 levels. They belong to the 4 sexually realms.
传法的根本。
And then we offer to the Guru first because Guru is the foundation for all the Dharma
就是
transmissions.
供养所有的护法，
And then the 4 sexually realms, and then below them,
都可
all
以
the
这样子讲
protectors. We can say it that way.
所以以后呢，你供养这个环节，你也可以念，排名不分先后。
So when you make your offer, you can say that
免得这个护法，
there's no ranking, okay, in the
大
list.
的护法，大法法王金刚，
And maybe otherwise the Herukas would say, I'm a great Heruka, I'm Mahotara Heruka,
最主要的护法，
I'm Adama Buddha, the most important protector in Nyingma
金刚真，
Where do you put me in the list?
阿弥陀的变化身呢？
And then Uchisama would say, but I'm an emanation of Sakyamuni Buddha.
啊，释迦牟尼还是我画出来的嘞。
And then, but I'm Adama Buddha, and Sakyamuni Buddha
金刚在那边
was emanated by me. And then the Herukas are fighting each other for the ranking.
以后
So
供养的
there
话
would，be thunders and
省得麻烦。
but there's no need to worry about the ranking.
就行了，就是大家本来排名就是这样子嘛。
That's
上供根本上是集诸佛菩萨，中供金刚护法，龙天空行诸天众。下供
so offering above to the lineage of Guru and all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, in the middle to all Herukas, Dhammapalas, Dakinis, and divinities, and below to all sentient beings. That's good enough. We just divide them into 3 levels. Otherwise,
上师
it's a back and forth.
中供
So we make offering to the Guru first, and then the 4 sexually realms,
下供六
and then in the middle to the protectors and the heavenly beings or divinities, and then below to all sentient beings.
你害怕说弄错了，
So are you afraid
分先后。
that you make a mistake? There's no ranking in this.
小明上课睡觉，被老师发现，
Xiaoming is sleeping in
为
class
什么在上课的时候睡觉？
was discovered by the teacher, and the teacher
因为
asked,
我没有睡觉。
"Why are you sleeping in class?" And Xiaoming replied, "I'm not sleeping."
那你没有睡觉在做什么？
Then what are you doing then if you're not sleeping?
我在闭
And
目
Ming
沉思。
replied, "Oh, I am contemplating."
那你为什么只点头呢？
And the teacher asked again, "But then why are you nodding your head?"
非常有道理。
And Xiaoming
老师
replied,
问：“那
"Because
你为什么流口
what you've
水
just said makes a lot of sense.
小明回答
Then why are you drooling?"
你讲的
And Ming replied, "Oh, but your words were very delicious." It's just an idiom.
叫小明回答。老师问小明：“你为什么上课睡觉？”小明回答
If me, I would：“ say,
我下课就要玩了。”
"Why are you sleeping in class?" And Xiaoming would reply, "Oh, because I want to play after class."
这个好了，将来的事情，如今人人都在玩手机。若干年后，墓碑上
Nowadays, everyone plays the cell phone. So in the future,
二维码
on the tombstone, you don't need to carve anything. All you need to do is just put the QR
路
code
过的
in.
时候拿出手机扫一下，一生全部在这个手机里面。到底爱过谁，恨过谁？
So you can just scan the QR code, then all your life story would come up.
条码，什么都不用，因为名字也在上面，什么拿什么。
So all we have on the tombstone would just be a QR code. And when you're born, when you died, and what happened, who you were
还不是最可怕
would come up.
你扫完之后，突然间收到一个
But
信
the
息，
worst part is after you scan the
对
QR
方
code,
同意你加
you
入
got a message that you have been accepted as friend.
这个你们玩手机的才知道，是不是没有手机实在是搞不清楚他在讲什么。
You'd understand when you have cell phones, but Grandmaster doesn't.
这
So
个好像以前讲过了，不过再讲也是可以的啦。课堂上，
So
漂亮的
we've
女老
told this
师
joke
很严
before,
肃
but
地
I can
给
repeat it.
小朋友解释
Uh, in class, there's a beautiful teacher that explained about a Chinese word,
这个
milk,
是有小的意思，
which means
乳本来就是
young
有
or
小的意
small,
思。
right?
乳猪，你
Like
看我们乳猪吗？
milk pig.
香港人最喜欢。
Yeah, this is Chinese, which the Hong Kongese love
还有
to
皮，
eat the
皮听说很好吃的，一大块就是乳猪。
and including
到
the
香港
skin
他们
and
请客都有烤
very
乳猪
tasty. They always have the roasted
太喜
piglet,
欢。
but I don't quite like it
他
eating
们叫
the
乳
pig
猪，烤乳
skin.
猪，乳猪就是小猪的意思啦，对不对？
So this
还有
milk
乳鸽，
means small or young,
也就是小鸽子，乳鸽就是小鸽子。
or yeah, small pigeon.
那个
This is
老
only
师
important
就
Chinese.
问了小明，你用乳来造句，小明就造句了。我家的经济条件不太好，
Yeah.
只能住在10几平的乳房。老师这个头都晕了。
Yes, only meaning meals in Chinese.
小明又讲，我每天上学，我家门前有一条这个小河，那么小沟啦，那都要经过我家门口，要跳过一个乳沟。老师讲不行，再换一个。小明回答：我实在想不出来啊。老师啊，您把我的乳头都想破了。好了，我们进入这个话无所划分第25。
Okay, now we'll get back
话无
to
所划分。
chapter 25. manifesting all illusions.
这个也就是说，我们常常讲度众生，对不对？
We often talk about the delivering sentient beings.
就是没有度众生。
The so-called delivering sentient beings is not delivering sentient beings. 我们讲过了。
所谓度众生，就不是度众生。
So the so-called delivering sentient beings is not delivering sentient beings. The title is manifesting all illusions.
度无所度分第
要说啦，要说，给点演讲啊。
这个里面的内容，佛陀问须菩提：一意因何？
The Buddha asked Subhuti, what do you think? One should not say that the Tathagata holds the notion, I am delivering sentient beings. Subhuti, do not hold such a view. Why? Because there are no sentient beings to be delivered by the Tathagata. We have talked about this part. So they wrote it wrong. So I thought they pointed to me to talk about this part. Oh, so you blame it on me, it's my mistake. That's why it's kind of strange. It felt strange.
现在要讲无断无灭分第27。
Now we will talk about chapter 27. No severance and no annihilation. This title is the most difficult to explain. Of all in the Vajra Sutra, this is the most difficult part. Chapter 27, no severance and no annihilation or no extinction. So there's no cutting off and no extinction. Chapter 27. So what does it mean? Let's look at the content. Subhuti, if you ever think that the Tathagata attains Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi due to the absence of the marks of perfection or any phenomena, do not think in this way. Because the Tathagata attains Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi due to the absence of the marks of perfection or any phenomena. Subhuti, if you regard the Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi mind talks about severing and annihilating all Dhamma, do not think in this way. Why? Because the one with Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi mind does not mention the severance or annihilation of all phenomena. I think this is the most difficult part to explain. Because the Vajra Sutra was talking about emptiness, no phenomena of self, others, sentient beings, and lifespan. As I have said, it's the same as on the moon. Nothing there. It's emptiness. What is there on earth? Nothing. No meat product or vegetarian product. There's no good dharma, no bad dharma, nothing there. And we know there are no human beings on the moon. So no phenomena of self, there's no I there. And no phenomena of others, there are no other human beings. And there's no phenomena of sentient beings. And no phenomena of lifespan. So we can say who live long or live short. Time is meaningless there. And the spatial dimension, how big is the space? That's meaningless. So Grandmaster is selling the lands on the moon. Anyone wants to buy? Yes.
要啊，很贵的。
You want to?
因
They're
为它根
expensive.
本哦，我可以割一大片给你。
I can cut a huge piece for
可
you.
以往生以后到那里去住。
That in the future, after you die, you can live there.
师尊给你做保
And
证，
I would mark it with my seal, and I guaranteed it for you
卖了，
for money
我去加油。
in return. And then I use the money to fill in the gas tank.
没有意义耶，钱在
It's
那里没有意义
meaningless.
啊。
Money over there is
你
useless.
赚什么钱？赚了钱你能够花吗？
What money do you earn on the moon? Once you earn some money, you cannot spend it anywhere. So if you can't spend it, what meaning is there to the money?
随便一块地多少，一个房子多少钱？
So how much is a piece of land or a property? And it's a huge
没有钱，没有钱
piece of land there.
那是断。
There's no money, there's no concept money there. So that's called
金刚经
severance
本来是讲
or
断的，
cutting off.
他现在是
So
讲
the
不
Vajra
灭
Sutra was
不
talking
断，
originally was talking
也
about
没有灭，
about
是
severance,
完全都什么都没有。
but there's also no annihilation or no
这
extinction.
这一段是最难讲。
So it's also not
这个佛告诉西菩提
the non-existence of everything. So this is very difficult. So the Buddha told Subhuti, do not ever think this way,
便不以32
that the
相
Tathagata
或者记住
attains Anuttara Samyak
80随行好，得阿耨多罗三藐三菩提。
due
不要这样
to
想，
the marks of perfection, or 32 marks of perfection, or any phenomena. So don't, due to the absence of the marks. So don't think that because the Tathagata has no marks of perfection or phenomena that the Tathagata attains Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. So it's repeated again here, exactly the same
得到阿耨
sentence.
多罗三藐三菩提。西菩提，你若作是念，发阿耨多罗三藐三
So
菩提心者，
Subhuti, if you regard the Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi mind, talks about severing and annihilating all Dhamma. Do not think it this way.
发菩提心啊，
So if you generate
说法
Anuttara
是讲
Samyak Sambodhi
诸法是
mind
断灭的，
or generating bodhicitta,
佛法是没有的，是
that the
断是
Dharma
灭的，
is
也不可以做这
cut
个念
off
头。为什么呢？
extinguished.
发阿耨多罗
You
三藐
cannot
三
think
菩提
this way.
依
Why?
法不说断灭
Because
相。
the one generating Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi
在
mind
这个法上面就不讲
does not talk
断
about
跟灭的相。
severance or annihilation of all phenomena.
啊，讲完了。
That's
你
all.
们听得怎么样？
What do you think
爽不爽啊？
by listening it?
爽的，
Does it feel good?
因为不知道。
Because you don't know what it's talking about. What the hell is it talking about? What is Sakyamuni Buddha
你
talking
不是
about?
讲空吗？不要着相吗？不能有我人，我
Aren't you
人
talking about emptiness?
众生
Not to
受
be
者
attached
都
to
不可以
any
着吗？
phenomena. There should not be any self, other sentient
发
beings,
菩提
and
心，
a
菩
lifespan.
提心也不可以讲
You should
说
not be attached to any of
一切都
them.
是空的、
and
断的，是灭
Yet
的。
you generate bodhicitta, and yet you cannot talk about that everything is annihilated.
这一段就是这样子啊，怎么讲？
So how do you talk about this piece? How do you explain it?
请问有人会讲
Anyone?
啊？又是大师啊！
Ah, the ambassador again.
好，你讲吧。
Okay.
谢谢，顶礼师尊，感谢师尊讲《金刚经》，能够让我们更深入的
Thank you, Grandmaster, for talking about the Vajra Sutra so we can understand it better.
给我们
Grandmaster is our stimulation.
《金刚经》在
think
玄奘
more.
翻译的《大般若经》里边600部里面，它是在第577部开始讲。 从头到尾大概50分钟练完，没有停的。之所以有分品，是因为昭明太子就是
The Vajra Sutra
为了他母亲看不懂所以才分。
was
分了以后，听说他犯
divided into different chapters with titles, and by doing so, he violated the precept, so he died young.
大般若经是在
Let's
讲
not talk
般若
about
智慧
that.
般
So
若智
the
慧
Maha
就是
Prajnaparamita is talking about the
是无始
boundless
无终的，
wisdom,
是
no
没有
beginning
开
and
始
no
没有结束
ending.
的。断灭的话就是说，
Severance and annihilation means that just practicing to arhat is good enough.
他说我告诉你，我不
It's
是
good
因为
enough to be endowed with 32 marks of
才变成如
perfection.
来。假如是只有32项就可以
I
是
don't
如来的
become a
话，
Tathagata by
转轮
having
圣王就
the
是如来。
32 marks of perfection. If I do, then a Chakravartin would be a
奉
Tathagata.
承佛陀的威力讲实地的时候说，第一地可以当阎浮提的一般的王，第二地可以当转
And
轮
the
圣王。
first,
转轮圣王有32项，有些有，有些没有。他也只不过当到
so some
第二地。
Chakravartins has 32 marks of perfection,
第
some
10地
don't.
法云地的时
And
候，可
that's
以当
only the
摩西
second
所见
ground.
的。OK， 第9地
But
是
on the
2000
10th
世界
ground,
的这
it
个
can be the most
大梵天
solo
王。
heaven.
第8地是1000个世界的大梵天王，所以是无边无量。
At the
有
9th, at
达
the
那
9th
巴弥
ground
的，
would
你有
become
般
the
若智慧的时
Maha.
候，就不会在修法的过程中取断、取灭，这样就好了，这个就结束了，没有的。所以昨天告诉你
So
说，
having the
不要
Prajnaparamita
执
means
着
that you don't
32项。
have to severe.
那你不要马上讲说，哦，那佛陀不是因为32项才变如来，也是
Doesn't
要
mean
有
that anyone with 32 marks of perfection
阎浮提来到娑婆
is a
世界，为
Tathagata,
了要
but
让大家去接
Tathagata
受他说法，他就要
that doesn't
有
have
很好的相，就像师尊比较我们来讲，师尊的相是最好的，那么我们才会进步。
Oh, I
但是这不是一切，就是必要跟充分条件里面，32项是必要，充分的是什么？充
so
分
the
的是
32 marks of perfections is
无
necessary.
量的去做写书、
Like Grandmaster
画
has,
画，去
because
没有
can
说教
attract
去修行
people.
我们做不到的。
So Grandmaster, only Grandmaster can do, but not
也就是
us.
无量力，
Okay?
也就是 Prajnaparamita。
So this is
那么这样
boundless,
讲的话
and
就
that's
说师父
Prajnaparamita.
你不要听了我这
So
样讲
talking
以后
about this
就
way,
执着
after
在那里
listening to
说
me,
哎呀
don't be attached to it that the 32 marks of perfection is Tathagata, but the Tathagata should have the marks of perfection. Thank you, Grandmaster.
你看，都是大使一个人在讲，
So only the ambassador talking,
所有的
all the
法
time.
师跟上师啊，
but all the
都给一个大家
masters
提示
and the reference are lost,
就是
are
释迦牟尼
lost
佛在世的时候曾经这样子讲，不
laity.
要以为你们是生
So
闻，
that's why when Sakyamuni Buddha was
就是优
alive,
佛善优
he
佛
said,
当中啊，
don't
成为
think
大
that
菩
you're
萨
Sravakas,
多得很。
but actually from Upasaka and Upasika that become great bodhisattvas are many.
真
So
讲
the laity, many of the laity become great bodhisattvas, and many of the ordained sangha, monks and nuns,
睡
they
饱
are only eating,
三宝
sleeping, and playing.
每次问问题都是人家在家
Every time I ask question, always answered by a lay practitioner. But the ordained sanghas are just like
啊，你这个
wood
执掌
blockheads.
执掌佛法的，手上拥有佛法
And
的，
the ordained sangha, they have Buddha Dharma in their hands, and yet they cannot
在说
speak.
法。
And
啊在家居士，
and
本来
on the
排
other
上
hand,
座，
the lay
这个出家的
practitioners
下
are
座就不对
speaking all the time.
出家的一个是上座，白衣
So
的下座，
above should be the
现在
ordained
颠倒，
sangha, and the lay should be below, but now it's the other way around. The upasaka and upasika are speaking the Dharma, and then the ordained monks and nuns are dull and like a word listening. So you don't study and read the sutras, so you just eat and sleep and play. So in front of the Buddha, all of you should be beaten 500 times. So look, we have over 600 members of the Sangha, the ordained monks and nuns, that when Grandmaster was slandered, Grandmaster have said that there would be ordained monk or nun that would come out and debate on behalf of Grandmaster. But the result, Marici Bodhisattva bet on me, bet with me that there will not be any one of them. If there is a Dharma teacher who's doing that he would become a master. But there was none whatsoever. They really bring embarrassment to all the ordained monks and nuns. Of over 600 Sangha members, there's not even one that would debate on behalf of Grandmaster. They were all done by the lay practitioners. And now too, only the laities would give answers. So the monks and nuns are just so dumbfounded, so dumb. And so have you eaten? It's very repentful, to be honest. So what the ambassador said was very good. Every time it's always the ambassador who speaks. So it shows that he studies the Buddha Dharma, but not the rest of you. Well, let me say, perhaps you're just silence is golden. You know something, but you're just being quiet. Okay. So, like what I talked about yesterday, about the 32 marks of perfection, when I got home, the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas gave guidance to me. Like the Jin Lun Wang, the king of the golden wheel, silver wheel, bronze wheel, iron wheel, the kings who turned the Dharma wheel. In the past, there were kings who ruled the whole world, and they turned the wheels of gold, silver, bronze, and iron. And Grandmaster was once one of the kings. And Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva, he turned the wheel of the earth, and he's also endowed with 32 marks. Avalokitesvara Chundi too are endowed with these 32 marks of perfection. And the one who turned the wheel of wisdom is Manjushri Bodhisattva, also has 32 marks. And the compassionate great Avalokitesvara, they are all Chakravarti. So the sagely king who turned the wheel, like in the Sambhala kingdom, the first king was Manjushri Bodhisattva. The second king was White Lotus King. They are all Chakravartins. So, and in the Buddha lands, there are many more kings, and they are all Chakravartins, which means kings who turn the Dharma wheel. And they are all endowed with 32 marks of perfections. That was the guidance I received from the Buddha. So, the golden wheel king, silver wheel king, bronze wheel king, and iron wheel king, all the kings who appeared then are endowed with 32 marks of perfection. So this chapter 27, no severance and no annihilation, it talks about the middle way, the Madhyamaka, starts from here. Nagarjuna Bodhisattva understood the concept of the middle way. Existence? Yes, it exists. Like right now, we are here, all of us. We all exist, however, they are illusory. They are manifested. So, even though they exist, it's the same as not existent. That's why we talk about emptiness. But we cannot talk about severance and extinction, because severance and extinctions mean nihilism. So no severance and no extinction. Because severance and extinctions mean nihilism, then we don't need to do anything anymore. We don't need to cultivate spiritually because everything is non-existent, is gone. In the very past, when I studied Buddhism, my dad debated with me and he said, he believed that everything is gone after one dies. What soul are you talking about? Heavens? What hells? Buddha lands? I cannot see any of them. None of those exist. That's the strong opinion of my dad. And I'm the other way. I believe they exist. So I told him, yes, heaven, hell, soul, all those exist. And he argued with me, no. So no need to do all those. That was New Year's Eve, and we were arguing with each other. And then eventually he got really angry and he slapped on the dining table and said, I'm done, I'm not eating. And then he went to Kaohsiung to find a friend. And I said, okay, I'm going to Kaohsiung too to find my friend. I have my schoolmates there in Kaohsiung. And my mom said, so you finish arguing and both of you go to Kaohsiung, and how about me? So that was a debate about existence and emptiness. So my dad was nihilist. Nothing exists. So if you say they exist, show it to me. You said that there's a soul, show it to me. Only if I can see it, then they exist. That's how my dad was. So I argued with him, but I was not right either, saying that they exist, because this existence are illusory. These existences are illusory. But we need to understand that we borrow on these illusions to resolve the illusions. So amidst it, there's existences. There are existences, so we cannot talk about severance and annihilation. There is the Buddha nature. The Buddha nature is still there. Inside you, once you have attainment, you're purified, your Buddha nature will appear naturally. And Buddha nature has been yours all along. You deliver yourself. Nobody else deliver you. So after you study Buddhism, you use the methods of Buddhism, you manifest your own Buddha nature after you purify. This is called Siddhi attainment. Generating bodhicitta should not talk about severance and annihilation. If you talk about severance and annihilation, then what use is generating bodhicitta? There are no sentient beings to deliver. There are no self, other sentient beings and lifespans. So what use is generating bodhicitta? But in order for your purification, you do need to generate bodhicitta or to generate anuttara samyak sambodhi mind. Only after you generate bodhicitta, you can purify yourself. After you purify yourself, you would have attainment, the Buddha nature, empty nature, and to merge. And only then you would attain fruition. If you don't do that accordingly, like what this ambassador just said, one good statement, you don't record or you don't remember what Dharma teaching you're talking about, or how many sentient beings you have delivered. They are limitless. The same thing about writing articles. Doesn't matter how many books or how many articles, I just continue writing. The same thing with painting or generating bodhicitta or helping. You're not mindful of helping. I just generate bodhicitta and just do it. Don't think about the result or the consequences or the future. And don't think about why you're doing it. That's what the Vajra Sutra is about. So the Madhyamaka or middle way of Nagarjuna came out from this. So he believed that the development stages refer to existence, and the perfection stage is emptiness or nothingness. And we need to dual execute both existence and nothingness. This is the middle way or Madhyamaka of Nagarjuna. So you need the development stage in order to have the perfection stage. If you talk about emptiness and the perfection stage directly, and you don't want any development stage anymore, then you don't need Buddha Dharma anymore. Then there's no need to speak the Dharma, no need to listen, no need to practice the Dharma, because everything is severed and annihilated. After you die, everything is gone. So the same concept as what my father said. So my father's concept was severance and annihilation. So it's between the two. It's not existence and it's not emptiness, and it's not in between existence and emptiness. But you use both of them, you utilize both of them. Like stated in the Heart Sutra, form is emptiness, emptiness is form, form is none other than emptiness, emptiness is none other than form. It's already stated very clearly that existence, form means existence. This whole Saha world, all the forms and they were emptiness, but they are forms, so that's why form is emptiness, emptiness is form. So you need existence, generate bodhicitta, purify everything in order to enter into the empty nature and to attain fruition. And it's also not attaining fruition, just basically manifesting your own Buddha nature. So that's what Sakyamuni Buddha said. So no severance and no annihilation. So do not think this way, because if there is a severance and annihilation, that means it's nihilism. So today, whatever we do, it's most important to purify yourself. That's very good. Like Chakravartin, all the heavenly ranks still exist. Like what the ambassador said, the Brahma, Mahabrahma is a Chakravartin. He's a heavenly king in the realm of desire. Mahasvara is also a Chakravartin, which is endowed with 32 marks of perfection. and the celestial king of the realm of desire of form, and many Buddhas and Bodhisattvas who are turning the Dharma wheels are endowed with the 32 marks of perfection. So that's what we talked about last night and today combined. So you just do it, turn the Dharma wheel, and then after you purified yourself, you would naturally have attainment with no cause for birth and no cause for death. And then you enter nirvana and have attainment or siddhi. So you need to purge or to eliminate all impurities until you become completely pure and the Buddha nature manifests. That's the essence of this chapter, which is Madhyamaka. So the dual execution of form and emptiness, of existence and nothingness, or the dual execution of development stage and perfection stage. That's the Madhyamaka of Nagarjuna. Thank you, Grandmaster, for expounding Vajra Sutra. This is offering for you. So there's some value to it. Huh?
好，我们把那边看。
慢慢地，